The initiation ceremony of the Lozi people, a journey of culture or a question of ethics? Have you ever heard of a cultural ritual so shrouded in tradition and mystique that it sparks both intrigue and outrage? Among the Lozi people of Western Zambia, one such practice exists, an initiation ceremony for young girls that both preserves their heritage and raises ethical dilemmas. Girls as young as 10 to 15 are placed into a secluded house, entrusted to elder women, and forbidden from seeing or interacting with any men. The purpose? To teach them everything they need to transition into adulthood. But what lies beneath this age-old tradition? Is it an empowering journey or an archaic system cloaked in cultural reverence? Let's dissect this ritual and the controversies it stirs. At its core, the Lozi initiation ceremony is more than a rite of passage. It's a framework for cultural preservation. The secluded girls are put through a unique learning process passed down through generations. Elder women take the role of guardians and mentors, instilling in them the knowledge of becoming a grown woman. From an anthropological lens, this ritual reinforces a shared identity among the Lozi people. It holds cultural value by connecting younger generations to their ancestors' practices. The initiation serves as an immersive ceremony aimed at molding individuals into cultural bearers. However, this seemingly rich tapestry of tradition is not without scrutiny. The question arises, in a world advancing toward gender equality and individual freedoms, does such a practice hold relevance anymore? For cultural researchers, this ceremony ignites a compelling debate. While some argue it is a crucial educational tool and a rite of passage, one that equips young girls with life skills tailored for their culture, others see it as disempowering. Isolating girls at a tender age and imposing a predetermined set of values may limit their individual agency. Critics argue that such practices could inadvertently enforce rigid gender roles, prioritizing obedience and subservience over personal autonomy. For girls in the modern world, this process might even seem like a restriction rather than education. Moreover, emotionally isolating these young girls by cutting off their interaction with men could have long-term effects on their social development and self-expression. On the flip side, supporters of the tradition often highlight its integral role in strengthening cultural cohesion. They argue that removing such rituals altogether would erode the unique identity of the Lozi, leaving future generations disconnected from their roots. Zooming out, this ceremony mirrors similar practices found in various cultures worldwide, each grappling with the friction between preserving tradition and adapting to modernity. Peer into the initiation ceremonies of other African ethnic groups, or even the coming-of-age rituals in Latin America or Asia, and you'll find threads of similarity. These rituals, like the Lozis, serve as a symbolic bridge into adulthood, yet many are increasingly criticized for being out of step with contemporary values. For cultural researchers, the question isn't just about whether these rituals should exist, but how they can evolve. Can such traditions adapt without losing their essence? Should external influences, be they moral, religious, or societal, dictate what is ethical within a specific cultural framework? In the case of the Lozi ceremony, heated conversations around child rights, education, and consent add another layer of complexity. Is it right for a 10-year-old to participate in a system she may not yet comprehend, regardless of cultural value? The initiation ceremony of the Lozi girls is a ritual deeply woven into the fabric of their cultural identity, but it sits at the crossroads of tradition and ethical scrutiny. For cultural researchers, this practice offers a rich case study of how societies navigate the tension between preserving heritage and respecting individual rights. The ceremony sparks larger questions. How far should cultural preservation go in the face of modern civil liberties? Can practices like these be reframed in ways that honor tradition while safeguarding the agency of young participants? As you ponder these questions, remember that cultural practices often exist in shades of gray, tangled in layers of history, belief, and modern interpretation. Ultimately, exploring rituals like the Lozi initiation ceremony reveals not just the complexities of one community, but the shared struggles of humanity in defining identity and ethics in an ever-evolving world.